we tend to drag situations to the point that the guy knows that, okay, let me just apologize for peace to reign. That is a very toxic habit. Playing the victim is so toxic. It's manipulative, that's the word. So hey my loves, welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, you are so welcome. Thank you for coming to watch this video. So in today's video, I'm gonna be doing something different here on my channel, and this is coming from a place of self-development, self-improvement, and is typically different from the kind of content I put out here on my YouTube channel. But this I just decided to share because it's very important in life in general, and I just want to share it with you guys. So if you guys can relate and if you guys can take out one or two things, then I'll be very glad. So if you are interested, we're going to be diving into 5 ways to level up mentally, 5 ways to level up emotionally, 5 signs actually to know that you're on the path to getting more emotionally stable and emotionally mature, if that makes sense. So yeah, so we're gonna jump right into it. I'm pretty much excited because it's new on my channel and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So let's just jump right into the video. All right, so this video is coming from a place of personal development. Like, I have grown emotionally. I am more in control of my emotions, and I wasn't always like this. My emotions were always flying around and I wasn't quite stable emotionally. A lot of things were just up with me, and I'm so glad, I'm so proud of myself for the growth that I've seen so far. So that's what I'm going to be sharing with you guys. So one of the signs that you are more emotionally, or that you are emotionally stable and you're on that path, because I don't want to say emotional stability is like a destination, like you get there and that's it, because I feel like you just keep improving on yourself, and there's some things that would provoke you and you just feel like you have leveled up and you have unlocked another level of stability and calmness in quotes. So yeah, so one of the steps is to actually acknowledge you're wrong and apologize, and this goes for friendships as well as relationships. But I think this point has a lot of relationship related things that I want to say. So as women, I know that sometimes a lot of guys complain that it's so hard for ladies to say I am sorry, and it's not necessarily just ladies. I think as humans, we all want to be right. We just feel like we should be right, and so it's very much difficult to come up to say, oh, I am sorry. I'm sorry is different from sorry. Like, we all know this, but like coming up to say that you are sorry is just another level of stability. Not everybody can do that. Sometimes it becomes toxic, like when you know that, okay, you are aware. Sometimes you are aware. I used to do this. You'll be aware of the issue. You know that you are at fault. You know that there's something that you have done that you should apologize for, but that ego and that pride is just there, that just like a barrier stopping you from apologizing and mending the whole relationship. So I feel like once you can acknowledge it, is one thing to acknowledge, and it's another thing to apologize. So the two actually have to go hand in hand, and once you have these two together, this is beginning to distract me. So once you have the two hand in hand going together, I feel like you are now getting more stable emotionally. You can handle your emotions quite all right, and it just shows a level of, you know, maturity for you. So yeah, most times pride and ego tends to step in the way and kind of block us from seeing things from the other person's perspective, and this is what usually spoils a lot of relationships and breaks a lot of friendships. So there is one very toxic behavior that is very common in relationships, and it's mostly women that pride in this. So because we want to feel like we're always right, we tend to drag situations to the point that the guy knows that, okay, let me just apologize for peace to reign. That is a very toxic habit. Used to be there, done that, and it is not. Sis, you need to stop it. It's toxic, it's manipulative. You are emotionally manipulative if you do that. So if you know that you are wrong, most times the thing is that we women, or even guys, if you are aware, take the next bold step to say, oh, I'm sorry. Because if you don't, it means that you don't necessarily, you care more about your ego, you care more about your pride than the next person's feelings. So I feel like the way to actually overcome this is to actually think of how much you love that person, think of how much you love the relationship, and if that relationship is important to you, you will let go of pride, let go of your ego, and actually apologize. Like, it's actually so simple when you think about it. It's just, and when you apologize, please do it from your heart. So that is when it becomes simple to apologize, when you acknowledge the fact that it's not about you winning the argument or ladies winning, because we ladies actually, we always want to win every argument we are in. Maybe with our men, we always want to be the ones to win that argument. It doesn't always have to be like that. By the time you acknowledge that it's not about winning or losing, but it's basically about how you feel about the other person. If you care about their feelings, then you would apologize for your wrong. Drop that toxic habit of trying to spin the whole situation around and play victim. Oh my goodness, I used to do this so much. I used to do this a lot. Playing the victim is so toxic. I can't even, it's manipulative, that's the word. It's actually so manipulative. You play the victim like you are the one that is being affected, and then the other person should go ahead and apologize, knowing fully well that you are the wrong person. So it is toxic, it's manipulative, it needs to drop, it needs to stop. And so it's up to you. I can stay here and talk from now to tomorrow, but what is in your mind is what you're going to do. So yeah, I can only just give my 2 cents, and this is just where I'm coming from. Basically, you might take the advice, you might not take it. At the end of the day, whatever you want to do is that's what you're going to do. So I'm just saying, learn to acknowledge your wrongs and own it and apologize. It's simple. Okay, so the second step to leveling up emotionally or mentally, or actually one of the signs that you are on that journey to emotional stability, is the fact that what people say about you doesn't necessarily concern you. It doesn't give you so much worry. Now hold on. Why is this thing keeps distracting me? I'm so sorry. So this is a two-edged sword, and I just want to say that there's a point where you should not care about what people say, and then there's a point where, oh, I need to actually sit down and analyze what people are saying and see if what they're saying actually makes sense. So then there's a point where you need to draw the line and actually say, okay, this thing that people are saying, I need to take out the good from it and discard the sharp. Then you know that you are emotionally stable, because trust me, people are gonna be people. People can be mean, people can be rude, and I'm not even saying, oh, don't care. Like when it comes to things like, oh, someone comes to you and tells you, oh, you're not beautiful, or your size does not fit your body, stuff like that don't actually make sense. So I'm not talking about those things now. Those things, you shouldn't even actually bother about them. That is, they are trying to project their own insecurities on you and try to make you feel bad as a person, right? So scrap that. That is the one where you actually don't need to care about what people are telling you. But when it comes to, let's say, people keep saying that, oh, as a girl, you like to associate yourself with other people's, like other babes, guys. Like your friends keep telling you, stop doing this, you're hurting this girl's feelings by always hanging out with guys that are in relationships, things like that. So you should actually care as much to sit down, analyze it, and say, okay, so this thing I'm doing is actually hurting someone. It's because you need to stop doing that. And also things like, let's say your friend notices the way you spend money and they're trying to correct you, and you're just like, that's how I am, that's how I live my life. Sis, you want to go broke? You want to go broke? Sometimes you just need to like calm down and actually process things that people are trying to tell you. Sometimes they're criticizing you too, as a form of love, because they want you to get better at things. So there's a place where you need to care about what people say, just like I've said, and there's a place where what they're saying shouldn't get to you when it comes to your body features or when it comes to your self-confidence and things like that. But when they're trying to help you, like tell you or spot out things, it could even be that maybe 5 of your friends are saying the same thing, but you keep being so defensive and you're like, oh, this is how I am, this is how I am, I can't change for nobody. Sis, please calm down. There's a point where you need to draw the line and say, okay, I'm gonna actually analyze what these people are saying and take corrections and make changes. Okay, so you should focus your time and energy on some certain things and caring too much about someone saying that you have a big nose or I don't like the way your skin looks. Like, hello, it's my skin. So things like that shouldn't bother you, right? So I've read this book. I think I've spoken about this book before in one of my videos. So it's this, I'll put it here. If you are struggling with caring about what people say too much, read this book. It's really going to change your mentality. Like, your time is so valuable that you should spend it caring about what people say about you. There's no time for that. Once you've gotten to that point that you know that, okay, I'm able to receive criticism well, constructive criticism, take out the good, discard the chaff, and I can actually not care when someone is trying to, project their insecurities on me. Stuff like that. When you know these two things, then you're getting more stable and you're getting more emotionally stable. You are able to process your emotions more, right? So we're going to go on to the next. Okay, so another sign that you are leveling up mentally, you're getting more stable emotionally, is the fact that you are not very reactive to situations. See, some things don't require any reaction at all. You need to master the art of being calm. Like, there's some things that shouldn't even provoke a reaction from you. Sometimes you just need to sit down, process things. Let's say someone says something that offends you. You don't necessarily have to lash out. It's not necessary. Read this book again. Read this book. It's not necessary. You have your time to do other things that are meaningful. It's not necessary. Some things don't deserve your attention. And even if you have to be reactive, process things first. This will help you to communicate clearly. You don't go about insulting people. You don't go about lashing out. You don't go about nagging and calling people names, insulting people. These things are not values of, let me say, a high value woman. And if you're a guy, guys, the fact that you're a guy does not mean that you should be everywhere. You need to calm down sometimes. Calm down. As ladies most especially, we need to actually be calm. It's not just feminine to always be lashing out, calling out names, cursing. Calm down. Master the art of being calm. It shows that you are emotionally stable. You can process your emotions. You can, how do I put it? You're able to identify your emotion, and before you actually react, is this thing worth my time? Is this thing worth a reaction? If it's not, forget it. Some things don't need reaction. I will keep saying this. Master the art of being calm. I'm still on this journey because most times I tend to panic this quick. Now I'm like, okay, so this has happened. Could this be a good thing? How could this be? How could I learn from this? How could this be an advantage? Once you notice that you are very slow to react to certain situations, then you're becoming more emotionally stable, basically. I'm going to give an example. On social media, let's say someone calls you out for, I don't know, maybe they ask for your help, maybe to help you report. I'm just giving a very flimsy example rather. So let's say someone begs you to repost something for them, and then you're like, okay, this doesn't sit well with my brand. I'm not, like, your brand is way different. Let's say they're telling you to repost an alcohol party, and you're a Christian creative, and you're like, oh no, sorry, I can't post this kind of thing on my page. Do you get what I'm saying? Now that person calls you out. Tell me, is that something that you should now go on your own story and start listing and literally describing how the person entered your DM? Like, there's no time for that. Sometimes there's no need to clear people online, and this is just not even online. This is not even just online. It can be like someone around you that is just trying to provoke you. Sometimes just overlook things. You don't have to always react. Again, I don't know why I'm promoting this book so much. Read this book. It's gonna just give you this calm, like, you don't care too much about things. You just think there's some things that don't just need your attention, and that's it. Okay, so now we're down to the last point. This is something that I used to do very often before. So I used to expect people, or expect Billy in quotes, to always know what the problem is. People are not magicians. I had to learn this the hard way. People are not magicians. You don't expect people to know what is going on. Open your mouth and talk. Seriously, open your mouth and say things as they are. If you have standards to be set, open your mouth and say, see, I don't like what you did to me. This made me feel a certain way, and I don't like the way I'm feeling. So this is how I want to be treated from now. Like, this mouth that, I don't want to touch my mouth, this mouth that God gave you, use it to talk. Say your feelings, say how you're feeling, that, oh, I don't like the way I'm feeling, I don't like what you did to me, it made me feel less of myself, it made me feel like I wasn't important to you. Like, those kind of things would help your relationship, rather than keeping mute and expecting the next person to actually say, oh, let me try and process. Maybe it was yesterday, maybe because I didn't call her by 9, I was supposed to call her by 9, I called her by 9:30, maybe that's why she's giving me an attitude. Or maybe because I didn't text her early enough today. Like, those things are just wasting the other person's time and your time as well. You need to open your mouth and speak up. What do you want? What do you want? If someone wrongs you, open up and say, oh, I don't like this thing that you did to me, and it's up to them to apologize. If you don't apologize, that's fine. On to the next. Like, you've cleared your own conscience, you've cleared yourself, instead of, because I don't know, there's just this weight that I feel, or that I used to feel, when I just keep things in. There's literally a weight. I want to say it, but my own problem used to be, I don't know how to say it. Like, that's another thing. You need to be able to, you know, like, process your emotions, put your thoughts together, and then express yourself. So that is one thing that I used to struggle with. I know the problem, but like, to say it, I'll have to process things, and I don't want to just talk and not hit the nail on the head. So that was one of my issues. But like, actually saying what the problem is helps to clear the air faster, and just makes the relationship to go smoothly, right? So this is all these things that I'm saying. This is not just basically relationships, right? It also applies to like your friendships with your girls, with your guys, and stuff like that. So yeah, once you identify how you're feeling, you know that, oh, this hurt, this thing that you actually did hurt me, tell the person. It's up to them. If they're mature enough, they would acknowledge their wrong again and apologize to you, and it's as simple as that. Conflict dismissed. It's so simple. And honestly, that's literally it for this video. If you guys enjoyed this video, let me know down in the comment section. But I just necessarily had to do this video because, looking at things now, looking back at my life, I know that I have leveled up emotionally. Like, I am more in control of my emotions. I don't need anybody to tell me that I have leveled up. Like, there's some toxic habits. Like, I think that was the first point. I've really grown past that. I can actually apologize. Before, it used to be war. Like, it was a battle to actually say I am sorry. Like, I'm so grateful to God that I have left that toxic habit. So now it's actually very easy for me. And yeah, the things that my relationship has taught me, and most of the things I have shared in this video. So I hope it was helpful. I hope you learned things. If you could relate to any of these things, let me know down in the comment section. Feel free to give this video a like. It helps my videos to reach a larger audience. Please give this video a like if you watched up to this point. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys in one of my other videos. I have other videos right here that I will leave for you guys to check out. So thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next one. Bye guys.